All right, so here's a couple of the things that I wrote down that I want to share with you. Number one, learning and innovation go hand in hand. Think about every single convenience that we have in our lives today. We have them because somebody recognized that there was a problem at one point in time, and it was an inconvenience, and they decided to go and learn about that and then innovate up on it so that we have what we have today. The fact that you and I are sitting here right now in multiple different places in the country having a one-on-one conversation came about because there was a need for business people to have meetings in multiple places across multiple time zones and be right there together while costing them less money and allowing them to be better and more functional as teams and still be able to be right back with their team as soon as they finished what the meeting was all about. So learning and innovation go hand in hand. This next one, y'all, I don't know about you, but have you ever been doing a transaction with somebody who thinks that they know everything? I know I have. And it can be frustrating, especially when you know the opposite of what they believe is to be true. The enemy of learning is knowing. The enemy of learning is knowing. I think about this from the perspective of what our clients are looking for. Do our clients really expect us to know everything? I don't believe they do. Our clients expect us to know where we have the resources to get the answers for them when an answer is needed. Not every single one of us have the entire collection of all of the knowledge in the world right here in our minds. We do have access to it, though. We have access to it through people, we have access to it through technology, and we have access to it through other resources. He said, invest in others. We talked about this over the week. One of the greatest ways that you can improve your skill set is to find that one thing that you want to get really good at and teach it. Why do we teach it? Because when you're standing in front of others and you're saying, come alongside me, it forces you to get better at that skill that you want to get better at as well. So that is a way that you can invest in others, by inviting them along for the journey. Spend your time with people that are where you want to be. When I first got into real estate, one of the pieces of advice that my mentor gave me was, all of those people that you want to be like, just reach out and ask them if you can take them to lunch. Not one of them said no. And I asked them questions like, what led you to where you are today? What was your biggest failure? What was your biggest success? If you could go back and tell yourself where I am today, one thing that would have encouraged you to do something differently from the very beginning, what is that one thing that you would share? You see, asking questions like that can build relationships with people. And those relationships are still relationships that I have today, and you can too, simply by getting outside of your comfort zone and asking to have the conversation. Share your dream. Share your dream. It's the very beginning of the year. I think the number is 37% of people put New Year's resolutions together. And this is that time where they have a dream and they want to accomplish it. Well, you have a dream or a business plan. You know what your goal is for the year. Are you picking up the phone and calling your database and sharing with them what your business goal is for the year? The easy way for you to have that conversation is to just pick up the phone and have the Ford conversation: family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Because when we ask, how is your family? Naturally, the conversation turns to, as soon as they answer the question, they ask us what? They ask us how our family is. When we talk to them about, how's business going for you? Do you have any goals that you've set for your business this year? Naturally, they're probably going to turn around and ask us what? How's business going for you? What are your goals? What have you set up for yourself? If you have a goal to help 36 families get into homes this year, share that with your database. The number one reason people don't refer business to us oftentimes is number one, they don't know what our goal is. And number two, they don't know that we're looking for business. They can't help us if they don't know what it is that we want to accomplish. Recognize the contributions of others. Speaking of referrals, that method that he gave us right there can help you so much with referrals. We reward the behavior, not the outcome. Reward the behavior, not the outcome. He said, recognize immediately. As soon as somebody gives you a referral, whether that thing has come in and you've closed it or not, as soon as they call you and say, hey, Shirley, I've got somebody who wants to buy a home. Before you even get off the conversation, get out a handwritten note card and go buy a Starbucks card or something like that, put it in the mail to them and recognize the fact that they have called you and given you a referral, because you want to reward the behavior. You want to keep those things coming. The next thing he said was to do it in front of others. Y'all, we live in the greatest technological gift of the entire world. When somebody gives you a referral, recognize them on Facebook, thank them in front of others in a really big way, because what will that encourage you to do? Or what will encourage others to do? Do the same thing. And chances are when they get that card, the handwritten card that you've given them that has a Starbucks card or whatever kind of gift that you want to give them in it for rewarding that behavior, they're going to tell people about that. You're never going to believe what my realtor sent me. All I did was call them and say, hey, I've got somebody who's thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate. And then the third thing he said was do it in writing. The written word is way more powerful than the spoken word. The written word will last much longer. I don't know about y'all, but I get so much junk in my email every single day that I don't pay attention to half of it. Number one, you can ask my leaders, the team that I have around me. I have my assistant on this call who just goes through my email for me so that he makes sure I'm paying attention to what I really need to pay attention to. Yet I get really excited every single day when I get, well, not every single day, but when I get home and there's a handwritten note that somebody sent me, because that shows me that they've taken time out of their day to just think about me. Yesterday in our team meeting in Coral Springs, I interviewed Jason Wetherington. And Jason was talking about when he was walking through his neighborhood and he saw a home that had done some really, really great upgrades. And they had completely redone the outside of their home with what he said was amazing landscaping, and it just looked incredible. He said when he got home, he wrote those people a handwritten note on his own stationery that had nothing really to do with real estate. It was just his name, Jason Wetherington. And he decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and put a business card in here as well. Well, 3 months later, he got a phone call from those people saying that they wanted to list their house because they wanted to move somewhere else. And what stuck out to them was the fact that he recognized what they had been doing to their home. He recognized the care that they took of their home. And that made the difference to them. Handwritten notes, y'all, are not a thing of a past. They're a thing that's coming back very much now. So don't forget that. Don't forget to take time out of your day. Even if you're door knocking, and you have a conversation with somebody, they've given you a gift. If they open their door and have a conversation with you, they've given you a gift. That gift is of their time. That is time that they will never get back. Thank them for it. You already know where they live. You've got their address. You stood on their street. You stood on their doorstep. You had a conversation. Thank them for it. That is one of those things that will stand out far stronger than anything else that anyone will do. Anybody can hire people to put flyers on front doors. Not everyone will take the time to make handwritten notes and do those things for your clients. So if you want to surround yourself with great people, go and find the people that you want to be like. Go into the rooms for education that are filled with those people who you also want to be like. Be willing to ask big of somebody. When I say ask big of somebody, those people who are where you want to be, ask them for some of their time. most entrepreneurs are not afraid to share what they've done, and most of them aren't afraid to talk about themselves either. So I would encourage you to ask big of somebody. Ask somebody for the gift of their time, because it's lessons in those conversations that you would probably never get otherwise. You're digging down to that 90% of the iceberg that you don't see, which is where the real stories of success truly happen. We see the success on the top, but it's way better to find out what happened on the areas that we don't see. So, any thoughts, comments, questions, concerns that you would like to share from our meeting this morning?
What stood out to me is number 5, undergird your dream with strategies. And so whether I'm doing the door knock or whatever, what is a strategy that I'm going to follow up? Yes, the note card that's sent, but how am I going to follow up? So that's what I'm focusing on.
Yeah. And another strategy to be extremely intentional around your door knocking is, let's say that you are walking through a neighborhood where they tend to have a lot of signs that say no soliciting. Figure out when trash day is and door knock or walk that neighborhood when most people are going to be putting their trash cans out the evening before, so you can have conversations as you're walking through the neighborhood. That's just a simple tactic that you can do, and it actually worked for one of the agents who I coached a while ago. She ended up there was a house that she wanted to go and door knock at one point in time. They had a no soliciting sign up, turned out to be the HOA president, and that because of that conversation that she had while everyone was out putting their trash out, she caught this person at the right time, ended up creating a great relationship with them. And then they asked her to kind of be the person who comes and gives updates at their HOA meetings about what's going on in the community in terms of real estate. So be really strategic. If you want to do something, there's always a way. Find a way to make it happen. All right. I appreciate you all being on the call this morning. If there's anything that I can do to serve you this week, don't hesitate to reach out. And as always, everything you want in your life is right outside your comfort zone. Choose today to be a little more uncomfortable. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.